us in this beautiful evening here in Transylvania. Thank you for joining me. And hello, wow, we just had a big bump upstairs. Hopefully, the thunderstorm won't be so severe because it's something that is on the horizon right now over here. We had a very hot weather in the past week, and now it's cooling down drastically. So our energy is very low and very conflicted since we don't really adapt easily to these huge temperature shifts. But we will get through this difficult period. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Viorel, Sophia, Indigo Fire Angel. I love your name. I said so a few times. And also Lila Abydos. Thank you for being here. We had a nice chat on the emails last week. And yeah, if mainly I want to discuss stuff about hidden secrets, about the mystery teachings, and also about the book that I recently published. It was in the workings for since February or January, something similar. But only recently, when most of you have seen probably the community post that I just did, that it was open for beta readers or beta readers. I never know how to pronounce that. So at least like 15 people assisted me with the process of fine-tuning the book, for which I'm very much grateful for your assistance, since like a more objective perspective really helps to improve your own work, because when you worked on something for, I don't know, like months maybe, or just weeks, you're like so entrenched in it and you just only see it from a specific perspective. But when someone completely separate comes in, they will see it from a completely new perspective, and they can point out some flaws if there are some in it. So we managed to fine tune it very much so, since my native language is not English. Like, I'm Hungarian, but yeah, like I speak a lot of English, and also I enjoy listening to it and reading it, so it wasn't that difficult. But yeah, generally it was created for the English speaking audience, so it was great that many of you helped me with to fine tune the text so it can be published more easily. Hello, higher vibrations, thank you for tuning in. And yeah, like if you're interested about the book, you can find it. I haven't put it in the links below. Oh my god. Yeah, but you can find it in the community post, or in the last video that I just did. And I'm going to put it here in the pinned comment section below, and also the description. If you're watching this live, then it's currently not there. I was very lousy today, and I didn't think of that. But if you're watching the replay, then please check it out. It's going to be in the comment section and also in the description below. So yeah, you can read it on my site. I have also made my official Guardian of Orion site public. I worked on it for like 2 months, since I didn't really have time to fine tune it, but I wanted to like align it with the publication of the book. So you can read the book there for free. You can download it as a PDF, or just read it on your browser, whatever you prefer. And currently it is free on Amazon Kindle. You can't make books permanently free on Amazon, sadly, so it's going to be 99 cents if you miss the promotion, which will end on Wednesday at midnight, I think. It's going to end on Wednesday, but even after that it's only going to be like 99 cents, so you can buy it there. If you can read it, and if you enjoy it, then please leave a review for it, because it really helps to boost the searchability and the promotion of the book. So the more beneficial reviews I get for the book, it will be preferably much more easier for other people to find, since it's going to be much more recommended by Amazon. I think that's kind of how it works. I'm kind of new to this field, but yeah, like it's going to be a platform where it's going to be available. And possibly later, when the promotion ends, I'm going to put it free on Google Play. Like, if anyone uses Google Play Books to read books, then please let me know if it's like worth it to put it there. Like, I only learned about it recently. It's a place where I can upload it for free, so you can download it. You don't have to pay for it. But on Amazon, you have to pay 99 cents for it. So yeah, that's kind of the drawback of Amazon. Okay, high vibration. Congratulations, Guardians, for the book is beautiful. Thank you. Like someone already left a review for it, so whoever that was, thank you very much. Please do continue. Hello, Josly. Thank you for joining us. Also, Miro or Myro Rosik. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the book. Yeah, like I hope you enjoy it. Like currently it's free on Amazon. You can download it for free, and if you miss it by Wednesday, then you can. It's only 99 cents. That's the cheapest that you can get on Amazon, since they are not willing to host free. Basically, they're not willing to host books that they don't make any money off of. At least I think that's the logic behind it. Okay, Sophia, you are right, Guardian. That's how it works. Okay. Good morning, Era. Oh, thank you for joining us. Good afternoon and good evening for everyone. Here currently it's very much in the evening. It's 10 p.m. here. I hope everyone is doing well. And hello, Waking Gaia Oracle Messages. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, if you have like any questions related to anything, then please do ask in the chat below. You can put in the question marks before your question so it stands out much more clearly. Or you can put my name in the beginning and it's going to be even clearer that is you're trying to ask something. So we're going to be online at least for an hour, and I would like to have like a nice chat with you guys since we haven't really had the opportunity to communicate for like 3 weeks or so. Like I've been very busy, not just with the book, but other projects too. And I bet all of you had a lot going on in your own lives, in your own part of the world, since we're all like transforming and changing so many things, not just on an individual level, but also like on a collective level. So everywhere so much stuff is going on constantly that it's kind of difficult to sort through and just keep up with stuff. And I was trying to keep things at the most basic level for the past 2 weeks to like to recover a bit and to have some plus energy for what is to come, since it's, yeah, like the past 2 years have been very much draining on my end of the stick. Hello, Jacaranda Marie, thank you for joining us. And also Alison. What's the name of the book again? I joined a little late. Okay, like I was a very lousy today and I haven't really, I forgot to put it in the comment section. Okay, but I'm going to copy it now. I'm going to post it in the, I'm going to put it in the description of this video, and I'm also going to post it as the pinned comment for this live event. So if you do like a refresh for this event, then you will be, hey, like I think I can't put edit video. Okay, like I can't put comment yet because it's still live, and I suppose you can't comment on your own video while it is live. Okay, so I don't see the logic of that, but that's how it's happening right now. Okay, so if you want to refresh your video of this live event right now, then you will find the link in the description. It's going to be on the top. Okay, I just did a refresh to test it out. Yes. Okay, so if you do a refresh for this live event, the link will be up. It's in the description. It speaks about promotion, how long it takes or how much it can hold on, and yeah, like some details, and you have the link to the book right now in the description if you do a refresh of this live event right now. Maybe I can post it also in the live chat. I don't know if you can post links in the live chat. Can I do that maybe? I think I just did. Okay, so I just posted in the link for the book in the live chat. So you can check it out from there. Download it, it's for free right now. So yeah, and even after the promotion ends on Wednesday, it's going to be 99 cents. So yeah, you can't get any cheaper than that on Amazon. Okay, Maybe I will paste in the link one or two more times later on in the chat. Yeah, like, and if you read the book or downloaded it, then please, if you enjoyed it, then leave a review for it. It really helps out the book to, so Amazon can promote it to more people, or it's going to be much more easily found by others, or something similar. I think it has some kind of similar algorithm to YouTube. So if people interact with your content and they watch it and read it more, then it means the algorithm thinks that people enjoy it, so they're going to promote it to more people so they can enjoy it too, hopefully. And yeah, later on I would like to do some promotions for it too, maybe to send it to other YouTubers or people who are maybe interested in the Hermetic teachings or uncovering the secrets of Atlantis or Thoth, Hermeticism, and stuff like that. I only found very few YouTubers or people that are interested in it. So yeah, like if you know anyone that would be interested in a book, then please do share it with them. Yeah, and also Higher Vibrations sent me, I think it was on Friday, probably many of you know from YouTube, there is Spirit Science, that YouTube channel that's like pretty freaking old. It has almost like 1 million subscribers, I think. Spirit Science does like many type of projects. I haven't followed them in the past decade almost, but yeah, I know their work. And they just recently re-released the Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean. So the original tablets were written in this archaic English form, but they kind of like updated the language to a more modern version of English. So if people who are not comfortable with the archaic and Shakespearean version of English, then maybe they can understand it and enjoy it more with this more up-to-date modern English version. The book contains also the original version, so you have both in the book. You can buy it physically, but you can download it for free on their site. You can download the PDF, just as you can download it on my site. You can get the book there too. Oh my god, I haven't shared the URL for my website on this comment section. Okay. I really didn't prepare properly for this one. But yeah, if you're visiting this in the replay, then everything will be set. It's going to be also present in the comment section. Okay. Now everything's in. Very professional. Okay. Okay, so Sophia, hello Zoltan, looking forward to reading it. Well, I hope you will enjoy it. Check around the Mary. Finally, we will have some time to dive deep into the amazing work, Guardian. Can't wait, and will definitely leave a review and share. Thank you very much, Murray. I will definitely be interested. I'm going to be starting back up within the next month. Love Spirit Science, watch that one. Was so interesting. Yeah, like they have like a lot of videos on different topics, and they're very, I think it's like a very good base for resources and information. Like they have videos that are like mini documentaries on specific spiritual and metaphysical subjects that are like very like basic, simple to understand, but they're like very compact. So it's a great place to start to get to know many spiritual concepts or metaphysical concepts, and maybe if you're new to it or you just had your awakening. And they also talk about these ancient teachings as well. Not in all of their videos, but they have some videos addressing this subject. So Higher Vibrations, the book was such a powerful experience for me. Each one of the tablets had an entire different element that pulled like spiritual blockages from me. Every time I read it, I get something new. That's awesome. That's kind of how they work, that they're like symbols. So when you have like a typical linearly working book or a traditional book, you get, maybe you have a story in it, or maybe it's a book about physics or biology, and there is information in it, and it is described in a specific way, but what is written there is basically all you get. That's why many science books and things that go deep into specific research materials are very, very long because they have a lot of ground to cover. But just as the Kabbalion basically is just like a little notebook, the whole thing about these secret mystery teachings is that they basically talk in codes, they are symbols, so they don't really have a written down one-on-one information on it, but they're basically like triggers and activations for the actual knowledge that you can receive by tapping into these sources of information, or they trigger specific remembrance in you, so you will unlock that repository of knowledge from inside of you, basically, because all of that knowledge is coded within ourselves. And also, as it states in the foreword of my book, that basically the whole point of that book that I have created with Thoth, that's 64 pages long, are basically keys. It is a type of activation, so you can unlock the knowledge that is actually inside of you. So you won't have to rely on outside sources or to, yeah, it's basically, that's the main reason for it, because all of the knowledge that we need right now to transform our reality, to transform the collective, basically, to move on, is inside of us. And I think it was specifically written for this period, and also probably what's going to come after, because also the title says that the teachings of Thoth the Atlantean for the dawn of the space age. So yeah, we're going to the space age. It's basically addressing also subjects of metaphysics and physics too, like how you can travel in time space, not just with your body, but without your body, and how you can shift your vibration, how to maneuver so you can overcome the negative effects of time and space. So yeah, there's a lot of coded knowledge in specific chapters in the book. If I would be a science guy, then probably it will be very interesting. But since I come from a very non-physics, non-science based understanding, I only take it from a spiritual point of view. But yeah, if you do some research, then you will find that all the big physicists and scientists, philosophers, and yeah, basically all the big people that have created big change or revolutionized science and our world dabbled in the occult. So also like Isaac Newton, Einstein, they all had like their backgrounds in the occult and spiritualism. So yeah, like they did have I don't know, for some cases maybe it was not that conscious, but they did understand these holistic principles. And that's because, and probably also Tesla too, like they've seen the world from a completely different perspective than traditional linear-minded scientists. So that's why they were able to revolutionize stuff, because they had a more holistic picture of things. And I bet they understood much more of what makes the universe tick than maybe your average scientist. Okay, so Waking Gaia Oracle, I have been looking for more information on Lemuria, and it lead me to spirit science. Yeah, like I don't really know much about Lemuria. I was only like very preoccupied in this lifetime with Atlantis. But yeah, I probably should check it out sometimes. Yeah, like did Lemuria exist before Atlantis, or it was like a sister civilization that existed like in parallel with Atlantis? Like I heard both theories. It was never really clear how it worked for me. Okay, so it's basically awakening kindergartner. Okay, so Lila, long live Thoth and his wisdom. Okay, not everyone is ready to receive that kind of information. That's one of the reasons is encoded. Yeah, like also in the Emerald Tablets it says that this sacred information, the hidden knowledge, should be put in codes. So the profane and the ignorant people will renounce and laugh when they hear the sacred text, so they won't understand it. Yeah, like you basically have to have a basic understanding of yourself or these spiritual concepts in order to decode the knowledge in it, because without that understanding, it makes no sense. It makes no logic sense, that's for sure, because it's like full of contradictions or paradoxes, basically. But that's kind of how things work. Like when you have these spiritual experiences, then you kind of get this higher understanding of things, like how things work. But when you come back, then it kind of feels like a dream. It's not that clear anymore. And if you want to explain it to someone, then you're like in a big problem, because it's very difficult to put it into words and to phrase it into our language, basically, because our language doesn't really support those concepts. So you have to rely on symbols and paradoxes and contradictions to try to embody that what you experience on the higher planes, because it's like what you experience on the higher planes and during meditation, it goes far beyond time and space and all the logics of the three-dimensional universe, basically. And since we are a race that is not used to maneuvering in those realms, we don't really have language for it. Like in the past few decades, we kind of started to develop our language. Like we're still having, in my opinion, problems communicating even in the spiritual community, because maybe for a specific thing or concept, someone uses a specific term and maybe I misunderstand that for something completely else. And yeah, like that's not very practical yet, but basically we're like in kindergarten right now. We're kind of like rediscovering these ancient concepts, but most of us like kind of already understand what the higher self is, alternate dimensions, alternate incarnations, extra dimensional beings, and so forth. So yeah, we're making little baby steps, but we're getting there slowly. Okay, so Lila, Lemuria was first. Okay, yeah, like even in the teachings of Thoth that I recorded, it addresses it for a bit. Like he talks about the cycle before Atlantis, and kind of Atlantis repeated that cycle again, but it's very brief in its description. I think like in the book that I published, it doesn't really go deep into Atlantis. Like he goes into that certain level so you can get the lesson of Atlantis, like why it didn't work or what was the reason for its downfall, so we can like overcome that and not repeat it again. But other than that, he didn't really go into details for Atlantis. And I kind of got the sensation, because all of this information has already been stated in the Emerald Tablets, so it would have been only like repetition again. And yeah, if you have read the Emerald Tablets and also the book that I just published, you will find that there are like similar themes in it, and some stuff kind of, I wouldn't say like repeat itself, but there are some themes that come back again, and like he addresses it from a different perspective, or he phrases things, the same concepts from a different perspective, maybe for the reason so maybe people will understand better this way, or it takes a new twist on it, maybe. Okay, so higher vibrations, I'm already feeling the energies of the Lion Gate. I think that's going to be on the 8th next month. I only learned about these gates a few years ago, but this one has always affected me deeply. It's amazing having a tool like this book during this time. Yeah, like just as higher vibrations said, also she has a YouTube channel with great videos on how to overcome the dark night of the soul and how to work through your own shadow work. So check out her channel for that. And yeah, like she stated it that there is like when you finish the 22 chapters in the book, there is the last chapter which is called the Book of Spells, and they are like affirmations that yeah, like have different effects. They're for protection, clearing, healing, and all types of things. That basically, yeah, they are self-empowerment affirmations to connect to the higher realms, to heal yourself, banish the darkness, and to transform the negativity and challenges in your life. They're also found during the 22 chapters, but I took them out separately so they're much more easily accessible if someone wants to actually use them in their day-to-day lives. So, Waking Gaia Oracle, Sister Civilization, Lemuria and Atlantis. One had led me to another, and so I'm very interested in learning as much as I can about the tablets and more. Yeah, like in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, you have like audiobooks on YouTube. There are specific tablets where Thoth talks about Atlantis and how it worked and what was the problem and what did they learn from it. So you can check that out. It's very interesting. So higher vibration, lots of going around. Those who aren't ready to understand don't and instead laugh. Yeah, like that's why it's encoded. So people who are not ready won't be able to understand it. Yeah, and it also has like a very interesting, it has a chapter regarding the spheres within spheres, which is basically a symbol of the alternate planes. Like we have our plane, our physical earth plane, and over that comes the ethereal earth plane, the 4D, lower 4D, higher 4D, 5 dimension. And basically, yeah, like he states very clearly that are like veils between these realities, these planes of existence that are kind of like a fail-safe system or like a protective barrier. I would not, something similar. So if people that are not ready or beings that are not ready to move from one dimension to the other won't be able to do it. So yeah, like you have to have this deeper understanding of how the planes work, and so how you can change your own vibration and how to come in tune with different realities in order to properly navigate on that which is above and that which is below. Because yeah, like you had, I don't know if CERN's still a thing. Like I know that it was like an experiment that they wanted to punch a hole into a different dimension through their earth science basically, and it was kind of like, I think it backfired and it didn't work in the end, thank goodness, because it was kind of like the same thing as in Atlantis, that they opened portals to the dark dimensions to draw upon more power basically. But yeah, if you don't have a spiritual understanding of how to navigate those realms and you're just like completely blind, just punching holes into realities, then God knows what you're going to let through into ours. Because, yeah, if you're not purified, you haven't done your inner work, and if you move to the higher realms, just as when you have your shamanic initiation, you're going to attract all the nasty stuff and all the fears and all the negative entities into yourself, because that's what is in tune with you at that stage. And that's also why the shamanic initiation is kind of the first step, if any of you are familiar with it. You're first faced with your worst fears to overcome them, to work through them. Because if you still have your innate fears, you have traumas inside of you, you have many negative emotions, dark belief systems inside of you. If you move to the higher dimensions or you try to like astral travel or even meditate in some cases, you can attract beings that are in tune with that. So you will attract like parasites or negative entities that are like in tune with the crap inside of your body and your mind basically. So that is why it's so important to cleanse yourself, to do your protection and do your inner work, so you move past all that debris, all that junk that we accumulate in this lifetime. And that's kind of also our purpose in being here, to transform it. We took it upon ourselves to take it in our body through our incarnations. We took it from our families, from our surroundings, and we also created some crap karma for ourselves here in this lifetime. But we are here to work through that, to transform it. And like, yeah, like being pushed into these out-of-body experiences or having ET experiences, visitations, or astral experiences during the night, are experiences when you're like pushed to work through it because you're bombarded and you're coming face to face with your fears in that state of being when you're traveling, maybe during the night, or maybe you're experiencing an adoption, not an adoption, an abduction experience, or just astral travel, or you're just becoming aware that there's some weird stuff moving around in your room. And yeah, like these are like experiences that force you in a new direction. So you have to work through your own karma. You have to clear yourself so you can get rid of the nasty and unwanted experiences from your life. Yeah, like basically to have a more control over that which you experience. So you're not like like you don't suffer through it. So you're not just like a passive slave of the effects that come from the higher realms. You're actually working with those things. You're working with your own energy. You're working with different beings, and you're becoming a conscious manifester of your own reality, rather than just being a passive, like a passive byproduct of your time, or just passively going through the motions of your own life. Okay, so Lila, the High Priest of Telos, is Master Adama. Yeah, like I heard of Adama, but never really explored it. Okay, Jacaranda Marie, I was just at Mount Shasta last week and was hoping to feel some connection, but unfortunately didn't. Yeah, like we can talk about that later. Share more details. Okay. So Venusian, hello, thank you for joining us, Venusian. I'm so glad I'm here. I'm a teacher, so I can't make it during the school year. Okay. Thank God for summer break. Okay, like what time zone are you in? Are you in America, Venusian? Yeah, like I think for you in America, it's the middle of the day and middle of the work hours, basically. So waking oracle messages, this is such an amazing conversation. However, I have to go. Oh, okay, thank you for joining us. So much for sending, okay. Thank you so much, sending you all so much love. Thank you for being here. Please, I would love any information any of you may have. My mission is to help others heal. Thank you. Okay, like hopefully we will address that too a bit, although it's a superbly complex subject. So, high vibrations, okay, I'm a bit off. The rephrasing of these things by Thoth fills in the gaps that weren't meant to be known yet until now. It's amazing watching all of the knowledge coming forth. It is done so slowly and gracefully. Yeah, like it's very interesting because like the Emerald Tablets of Thoth have been written almost 100 years ago. I think they were published in 1925. So we were like 3 years away from being 100 years. It was like, I think after the period of the Great Depression. So it was to think about how transformative and ahead of its time that channel text was. And you go back and do some little digging about the history of that period, and you're like completely amazed, like wow, like actually someone recorded those stuff during that period of time. Especially that I think that Dr. Doriel didn't really came from a wealthy family. I think he was like a working class person, so he probably didn't have it very easy during the time of the Great Depression. So. And he wrote the Emerald Tablets during that period. So yeah, very interesting. Yeah, we wrote, and I wrote the teachings of Thoth the Atlantean during the lockdown. So yeah, being alone, locked in your own bedroom, you write very interesting stuff. Okay, so Sophia, that is, oh, it's hello, Mandolin. Thank you for joining us. Better late than never. That is the best description of the initial shamanic initiation I have heard. Yeah, like the working through your worst fears ever. Yeah, like I think Kara Menina is not here right now, but we had a few chats about this very intense ET shamanic initiation that is not for children. and not for for the faint-hearted people. Like many people have the shamanic initiation through a more traditional sense, like yeah, like a very earth-based initiation, just as ayahuasca is very like earth-based consciousness, as I understand it. But some of us are more galactic-based consciousness, and our initiations were much more ET-based and extra-dimensional entities coming in doing stuff. Yeah, and yeah, like when you have such an alien presence, like conducting these transformations on you, then it can be a very scary thing, especially because the huge unknown factor, especially if you just had your awakening and you have no clue about these things, then it's like, I don't know, like I think it was, yeah, like you have, I don't know how you call it, like you have that fear of death, but something that goes beyond that, that like freezes up your soul or something similar. Like I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, like I think many people don't really experience those stuff. But yeah, like it really pushes you. Carmenina, hello, thank you for being. I just mentioned you recently. Yeah, like I just mentioned that we both worked through some very deep and dark stuff when we had our own shamanic initiation by ET entities in our beginning, and the beginning of our awakenings. That, yeah, like we had those astral experiences when you're like taken away to someplace else, like almost like I would say like it's like a simulation of rooms and spaces that you already know, but it's not that. It's just for the sake of familiarity, in my opinion. But it's basically like a simulation that you're put in, you're given a specific situation that you have to overcome. So you're like constantly like bombarded and challenged with different situations that challenge you, that challenge your belief systems, that pushes you in directions to overcome your fears, basically. But not just in a sense that they want to traumatize you, or although some of that was in it too, but in a sense that you're like dripping stuff so you can gradually adjust and like overcome it in a conscious manner. Sadly, I don't know, for me it took like at least like 5 or 6 years to gradually overcome these situations and to like work through the dark aspect of this whole initiation period in my life. But yeah, like it's not for everyone. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, like I had like PTSD from it in a certain point. So yeah, it's not for children, as Kara said it, not for children. So higher vibrations, the dizziness is incredibly intense right now. It has been pretty crazy for me recently. Yeah, and speaking of the heat, I had migraines from the heat. And on the weekend, Nepti, which hello, okay. Yeah, Venusian, you're in California. Sophia, brilliant explanation related to inner work and the transformation of the dark. So important. Thank you for speaking about it. Yeah, like, and I found that after years that the key in transforming and overcoming that darkness was basically tapping into my own Christ consciousness and to bring forth that golden light, that golden radiance from within myself, not to overcome it by force or trying to maneuver with it, but actually like stand my ground and transform it energetically. Because when you're in those situations, like, yeah, like it's you're very clear, like your mind is very clear, but you're in an altered state of consciousness. And just think about it when you're like, you've been sleeping for a few hours and maybe you're woken up in the middle of the night, your mind is not going to be very clear. And you're probably not going to process information and think in the same rhythm and way that you would think when you're in the middle of the day or you're doing work or whatever. So when you're in those situations during the night, it's like being caught with your pants off in the middle of the night. Like, yeah, like you feel very vulnerable. You just feel like you were sleeping. Yeah, like also when you're sleeping or trying to rest and you're in your personal space, you feel like it's more a vulnerable position to be in my opinion, when you're trying to sleep or you are sleeping because you're off, your guard is off basically. But that's kind of why it's important to do protection and all that jazz basically over and over again. So you can like filter that experience so not all the crap comes in, because you're going to be bombarded with crap anyways. So not just in a not for the sense of hurting you or to traumatize you, but to challenge you to overcome it basically. That's why many people, and also I got that too. Even I always did my protection before going to sleep, and yet again I had like a so-called negative or challenging experience, but it was for the purpose of to learn from it and to overcome it. So it was like a controlled situations that teach me something or allowed me to grow in a new way. Okay, so I missed on some stuff. Okay, I really love the description of Karamanina about it's not for children. Yeah. Okay, oh, I just finished the chat. Okay. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, then please do address it in the comment section, since we have like 20 minutes to go from this live event. Do you know why Osiris is green colored? Many think that original Egyptians were black. Others think they were white. Any clue? Yeah, like I think Osiris is painted green because he is dead. Like he died and came back. He was reborn. And he's also symbolized as he has a mummified body. And I think that's kind of also for the purpose of like putting him aside next to, I mean, so he's much more differentiable compared to the other deities. Like I don't really know if any other deities are green in color. I think there is one more related to, I think, the sky or something similar. But he's like very unique in that, and also that he has a mummified body and he's in white. And you have another deity, Ptah. He's like a creator god. He's also like mummified. I think he's blue, but I don't really have much information about him. But yeah, like Osiris is very unique in that way that he's represented like that. And regarding their skin colors, it's a very interesting subject. Like I was shown like almost like documentaries about when the Atlanteans came to the children of Egypt basically. It was called Chem by them, and how they like intermingled and created a new civilization. And yeah, like the natives were more black, but the Atlanteans weren't really. Like I don't know they were like if they had so much variety in their population as we did. For example, in America, I think you have like of everything from all across the world. But the ones that I've seen, the Atlanteans, were, you would say they were like kind of a mix between the white, the Caucasians, and like African Americans that have been mixed with Caucasians. So they kind of had that little strand of the native Africans in them, but not really. But they didn't really appear Latino to me. It felt very much like a blend between the white Caucasian and the African tribes or something similar. But the difference between them and the natives were that even though they kind of had the same traits, they felt much more like refined, just as you would like compare like, I know, like maybe humans to elves or something similar. They were much more like slenderly, neat looking and physically well balanced, just as when you look at maybe the Pleiadians or human races that are much more advanced than us. For example, they are much more healed, so their physiology is much more balanced. For example, our faces are not symmetrical, even if it seems so. If you do like a photo of it and like you mirror it, it won't be symmetrical, because we have so much imbalance and so much trauma in our bodies and pollution that we are not evolving and growing in a balanced way. So, and their bodies, since they're much more healed as a race, represent that. So they're much more well balanced. I don't think they have obese Pleiadians, or I don't know, or have physical deformalities, because they kind of healed that already in the collective, and we are still working on that because we have like many negative influences in our lives. that yeah, like basically that's the negative byproduct of it, all the traumas and pollution of the mind and physical body. Okay, Jacaranda Marie, Guardian. It's so interesting to hear how different each person's journey is. You've experienced such intense galactic energies. Others are earthly bound, and I've always been connected to angelics. Yeah, like I've only experienced the angelic realm recently. Like I absolutely had my initiation and yeah, like all through my growth, I had this galactic energy working with me, and only the past year did I experience the angels come in, basically. Yeah, and also Lila, yes, Rama is green. And also, it's interesting in Hinduism that you have specific gods that are painted blue. And yeah, like the explanation for that is that they didn't have another pigment, so they painted it for blue. Yeah, like it's very interesting when you think about it and do some research. There are actually like human races. I think also the Andromedans are blue, but there are other human races that don't have the same skin coloration that we do. Just think of basically think of planet Earth. Like how many different colors do we have? We have white, black. We don't have green, but we have red. We have yeah, like Asians. Like yeah, like we have like a super large roster of human beings. In part, I think it's for the reason because these different tribes came from different star systems or worlds, and now we live together. Also, if you look at some native uh, not mythology but cosmology and their origins, many native cultures have the same thing, that they came from Sirius or they came from that star system. Just look at the Native Americans; they have it very clearly in their cosmology that their ancestors came from the stars. Yeah, ours did too. So Mandolin, okay, I just seen that. Yeah, like Kara Manina, obese Pleiadians. Yeah, I just came with that. I have not found a recess life info yet. Okay. Yeah, like I don't think there are obese Pleiadians. It would be very interesting to find out. Okay, so Arcturians, some are blue, green, and variant tones. Okay. Yeah, like, but I never really like seen the Arcturians. Are they like very human-like, or they're like more ET looking, like the Greys maybe? Like I always sense this blue energy from them, but I never really seen how they look. Like I know they don't really have a physical body, as we do. They are much more like higher dimensional and energetic, but they never really like materialize in a specific form for me to perceive it, basically. So yeah, if you have any answers for that, please do share it with us. Incredibly difficult. Okay. So Sophia Zoltan, I found your serious light language has somewhat. Oh, I just covered that. Has some tones and sounds that sound Polynesian. Well, I'm not surprised. When I visited Hawaii, I felt it was a sacred land. Is there a connection between the Polynesians and Sirius? I would not be surprised. I have no clue. Like the interesting stuff about light language and or with any type of channeling is basically that you kind of like let the energies to manifest as they need to. Like, and most of the time I don't really get like background information on what this is, or why does it come through as it does come through. And most of the time I'm quite sure I wouldn't even understand like why it is the way it is or where is it coming from. But yeah, like the basic intent whenever you're like channeling or wanting to bring forth information or healing is to like to bring the highest and purest energies through in the clearest way. I always set the intent to bring forth what is needed, excuse me, at that time, and stuff come through. And usually when I do it, I kind of get like impressions of things. I see stuff or maybe get downloads of what is happening, but I never really get like a very concrete something. So yeah, like that's something that we have to work on. But I bet in a way, yeah, like when you're getting these downloads, like don't try to rationalize them very much, because I bet like most of the time it comes from a source, or it comes in a way that probably we wouldn't even comprehend logically, or maybe we don't even have a reference for. So you would kind of get just lost in the surface information and break the flow of information and energy with, if you're distracting yourself with these surface details, which are basically not that important. I mean, you can explore it for fun by all means, and you'll probably find interesting stuff, but I bet most of the time we wouldn't even like comprehend like how it is coming from, or where is it coming from. And most of the time when I like get impressions of whom am I channeling or what energies am I working with, they're most of the time they are not like an individual. They're most of like a collective of very many different energies. So like collectives of higher selves, or collectives of specific star systems, not necessarily like a being, so to say, as maybe I would be or you. They're more like a collective consciousness or of ascended beings or something similar. And they shift and interchange sometimes. That can also happen. So you don't be very rigid when you're channeling. So energies can shift. So maybe you're channeling something, you're bringing through light language, and all of a sudden you take a breath and it changes in a different direction. You're bringing through something different. Maybe the energies have shifted. Now you're not channeling Sirius, you're bringing in a bit more Orion energies mixed with the Arcturians. And maybe when you finished up, you're mixing it with some Pleiadians, or maybe they completely take over the entire stream of energy that is coming through. That is why I don't like to think about it too much, because it kind of kills the flow of energy if you try to rationalize it. But because if you want to make this process very seamless and flow well, then you kind of have to let it be what it needs to be. Because yeah, like a rational mind is not built for comprehending these things. Afterwards you can like, I don't know, like think about it or try to understand it logically if you want to share it, especially with someone, but don't try to overthink it while you're channeling or doing healing. So Indigo Fire Angel, I once saw a video where people found and temporarily passed through a physical portal they described as paradise, then Thailand, I believe. Yeah, like I also heard some, I don't know, these whistleblower stuff that they're working with some technologies that there are like stargates or like wormholes that you can go from one place to another just by stepping through a door or something. Like, I don't know if they were legit, but I bet that something like that does exist. Like, yeah, we live in a very strange universe, so anything is possible. So Lila Abidos, we did our homework. Yeah, like we did a lot of that. And what do we know? Barely anything. Like, yeah, when you learn more and more, you expose yourself to more that you have no clue about, basically. So higher vibrations, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you very much for doing this live event today. I'm happy also that I had a free evening this week, so we can chat a little bit at least. I really needed to connect with others. Happy tears. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And hopefully tomorrow we can talk too. We will see. Nepti the Witch. Yes, was? Yes, we did. Okay. So Venusian, yeah, that's happening to me. I usually get downloads at night when I'm trying to sleep, and they just keep going into the night, but they don't make sense to me. Yeah, like that's when we are we're most exposed to it. Like not in a negative sense, but we can be also exposed to unwanted things too if you don't do your inner work and protection. Because just as in like hypnotic regression, you have the different stages of awareness and trance. You have like the upper trance, like alpha, and you go down. I think that last stage of trance before you go into sleep is like theta. I'm not sure, I'm always like mixing them up. But you have the last stage of trance before you go to sleep, and in that state you don't really know when when you're falling asleep, because like the conscious mind is kind of like turned off, and you know when you're in that state when all the abstract images, interesting ideas, visions, weird stuff comes into your mind, they just flow in, and weird stuff happens. That's that state before we go to sleep when the conscious mind is turned off. And yeah, like many stuff can happen in that stage. Like that's when you're like having a regression, you need someone to lead you through that state, because if you don't have someone to anchor you, then you just drift away and fall asleep basically. And yeah, like that's what you should do when you're trying to sleep. But to extract interesting information, you need someone to guide you in that state. But yeah, like that's the very first stage when you can have like contact or downloads, get some interesting information. That's when it happens. And also, especially around 3 a.m. in the middle of the night, many of you, I bet, wake up around 3 a.m. or 3:33. That's like when our pineal gland is like is producing a lot of DMT, and yeah, like weird stuff happened then, because we're much more exposed to the higher realms in that state. Not just because we're producing more DMT in our brains, we're able to perceive more, but also I bet because like our minds is much more calmer, and also our surroundings is calmer, especially during the evening hours and during the night when like everyone around you is sleeping, and you're like not sensing that background static of everyone's like mind chatter that is coming from all directions, because everyone's busy and running around all day long, and they're like emitting these impulses from their minds, and it can be like a background static or noise that can be very distracting from time to time. And you have that turned off during the night because people are sleeping ideally. And I also sense the same thing, that same calm, during last year in March, when no one left their homes, and I felt that same calm, so it was very refreshing. And also the deers came came down to the city too, because everyone was gone, so it was a very interesting time. Yes, so Jacaranda Marie, light language is the exact correct name, in my opinion. When it comes through me, it feels something like light. Can't really explain it. Yeah, like they can be very complex. Like I had like some feel like languages, some feel like activations, some feel like just some codes for specific purposes, but sometimes it feels like maybe like someone is talking and conveying something in a different language, although I don't believe that's necessarily the case. But sometimes I had the impression that some there were like fractions of maybe Atlantean in it, symbols and stuff like that, but I have no way to confirm that. So Lila Abydos, one day we should all meet in Egypt. Channel Egyptian gods will be amazing and a ritual place. Yeah, like we don't have to go in Egypt. We carry it with our own selves. Yeah, especially if you have like incarnations there. Yeah, you can just tap into it basically. Okay, high vibration, that would be amazing. High vibration, it is needed. It is needed good to connect. We need each other. Yes, we all strengthen one another. Okay. Okay, so let me see. If there are any questions, then please let me know below, since we're going to end soon the live event. Okay, so Venusian, yes, I heard that was the best time to meditate and manifest. I believe that was during the night. Okay. Venusian, okay, so Sophia Diaz, yes, between 3 a.m. and 3:30 is very active for me. yeah, like I usually wake up at that time too, although I haven't had that for quite some time, thank God. Like I do prefer to sleep, to be honest. Okay, so mandolin, perhaps sit, feel it, energy, no, feel the energies with him. If you detect energies and it is feels safe to engage, ask questions. Of course, call Archangel Michael first. Yeah, like tune into your heart center, and I strongly suggest to start with tuning into the eternal fire that is in your heart center and like operate from that perspective. Because if you have that ignited within yourself, then that kind of like sets the tone for the entire experience. Like nasty energies don't want to come close to that frequency because they will be consumed by its energy. Okay, so I'm higher vibrations. I think it will be amazing to have a Guardian of Orion retreat one day. Okay, but we have to like clear out all the traveling shenanigans before that. Especially if I never have been to the States really. Okay. Indigo Fire Angel, the galactic support has been so amazing. Guardian, I have been seeing scenes from coming energies. Anything from your side? I have seen like templates of dark imprints that they like want to force on the collective, but we dissolved it. So yeah, like I will only talk about that in private because it was not very pretty, but yeah, it is related to the situation that is going on right now in the world. But we dissolved that crap imprint, thank goodness. Since, yeah, like in the surface and also in the collective, all that energy is being dismantled and is falling apart. And there are specific groups and entities that are still trying to perpetuate it. And they were like implanting these information bombs into the collective of people to find it acceptable, to make it a reality, because people that live unconsciously, they can't really like differentiate what comes from them or what do they want or what they are manifesting are actually their desires, or maybe they're just like influenced psychically to manifest something, because we have a lot of psychic influence going on right now. Yeah, like we're in energetic battleground basically, the whole planet. And it has been always that way, but now it is very intense. So there are many things happening, not just on the physical, but especially on the energetic side. So you have all these psychic influences. If like crappy stuff come into your mind that you don't really know where it comes from, like if you're very down, you're having like a nervous breakdown, or you're depressed. I bet like many of us is going through that because like we're super challenged in all levels right now. And yeah, like weird stuff can come into your mind, like how you can like do even worse to yourself, like how to hurt yourself, or to maybe deliberately hurt or cause pain to others. And when like stuff like this like seeps into your mind, and you're like, what the hell is it? Yeah, like where's this coming from? Like, or like visions of like horrific things, then and you're like baffled, like where the hell is this coming from, basically, because maybe you would normally wouldn't even think about these stuff, and that's like a good indication that like someone or something is projecting stuff into your mind. You're experiencing some kind of psychic influence when you're getting these alien thoughts and impressions in your mind. That's usually a good sign that something is, or someone, because there are also not just light workers, there are dark workers too. Someone is trying to project some nasty stuff into your mind, because they don't can do it for you, but they can influence you to do it for them. So yeah, that is why it's so important to be self-aware and to know yourself, to know your own energies, especially if you're an empath. That's what we're working with constantly, to like differentiate my own energies from the energies of others, because like we're like these empathic sponges that attract and absorb all sorts of stuff from other people, not just people but other beings too. That can also be a possibility. So yeah, we have to be super aware of what's coming into the system. Is it ours? Maybe it's not. And if it's not, then yeah, like protection, cleansing, grounding. And even if it's maybe ours, and even though, then you have to do the same and also work through it to transform it maybe with the violet fire. And also, if you had that psychic influence, you can transform that also with the violet fire, so it dissolves completely. Yeah, and do protection. You do it during the day, especially if you go to bed, because many weird stuff bump in the night. So yeah, we have to be extra diligent and careful during our night times. So Venusian, yeah. Oh, okay, I just lost some stuff here. So, okay, high vibrations, yes, confirmation. It's been like a slight tug of war. Okay, Andromedan energy. So, Sharon, thank you for joining us. Sharon, love your Merkaba. I saw pages of symbols during my last download. I think of it like a psychic attack. Okay, not the pages I I read in high vibrations comment. Okay, so high vibration is talking about what I just described, these intruding thoughts and impressions in your mind. Yeah, like basically they're a psychic attack. When weird S comes into your mind, then they are usually a psychic influence or attack. Venusian, yeah, we all need to work on our stuff and discern. We need to raise our vibration. All hands on deck, red alert when these stuff happen, basically. Yeah, like if you raise your vibration, you work through it, and yeah, like if you've done your inner work, then yeah, like if you're high vibrational, then I would say you can become like immune to it because you're not in the same frequency band as these attacks are, basically, because you only experience them if you're like down, you're very tired, you had a very crappy day, or you had a very challenging period in your life, you're going through depression, you're having a nervous breakdown, you're stressed. These are the states of being when we are more vulnerable to it, to be more susceptible to these influences that come into our mind. But if you work through it and you have a high vibration, maybe in ideal circumstances, that they can't really touch you because you're not on the same bandwidth as the attacks are. You're immune to it in a way. So Mandolin, been feeling paranoid, energies lurking, balance and perfected its awareness. Yeah, like faith, I haven't balanced or cleared my lower chakras yet. It's awful. Yeah, like I have to work on that too. Usually when I do my meditations, I put my sleeping pod, I sit on it because I have like a pillow and I put it under my butt. So I sit on it and it balances my root chakra. But yeah, I have to work on that too. Yeah, like it's also for us like star seeds, indigos. For us, like the higher chakras, like the heart chakra, throat, third eye, crown chakra, are more like feel more at home, basically. Like I move much more easily with them. But these base chakras that are more in tune for survival, for basic needs and instincts that don't really resonate with me. So it was always a challenge for me to harmonize with them, to harmonize them. So Nepti, yeah, I had to put up protection like crazy. Otherwise, it is too exhausting. Yeah, protection, protection. Okay, Marie, we also have to remember that we are sovereign. If you feel those lower frequencies, ground to Mama Gaia and ask for her help to clear. Yeah, like ground with Mother Earth and ask for her protection and guidance. Receive the, yeah, it's called the blue mantle of Mother Mary. It is a beautiful form of protection. And always ask for protection from Archangel Michael, from Mother Mary, or whatever type of energy you're in tune with. But yeah, like Archangel Michael is the trump card for protection. and banishing dark stuff from your life. Nothing can resist that. Okay, Guardian, protection for the night. I'm thinking of buying shungite or obsidian for the bedroom. What do you use or advise? Yeah, like I have organites for, yeah, it's basically for EMF protection. But yeah, like all those stones are great. Like you can see, I have the aquarium. I can barely be visible. And you have the light, and there's like a black pyramid or black triangle under the light. That's the corner of the room. I have an organite pyramid there. It's made out of shungite, brass, iron oxide, resin, and clear quartz. And it works pretty damn well. And I also sleep with this sleeping pod. This is also organite, the same substance. And I find that they do really help. And yeah, it also, psychic attacks have been very low profile in the past few months since I use these. I don't really get them. But I still do my protection stuff too. I think that's like the backbone of the whole thing. The crystals and smokes and stuff like that is just window dressing, basically. They're a tool that can help you with some lower vibrational energies, because the really big guys don't really care about crystals, to be honest, or smoke. Okay, hello Robert, thank you for joining us. We're also tuning out sometime soon. Venusian, that's what I do. I ask Mother Mary to cover me in her mantle before I go to bed every night. Perfect. Yeah, everyone else should try it too, it's really great. And ask for her protection to stay with you during the night, so everything is alright. Okay, so Neptune Guardian, what is your black pod again? You told it before, but I forgot. What can we get? Where can we get that one? It is called, yeah, like higher vibration. Could you please write it down? It is called Fix the World Morocco, I think. So, like, I think that's what it's called. I'm not going to search for the brochure right now. It's called fixtheworldmorocco.com, I think. Hey, I can paste in the link because I have their site here in my bookmarks. I'm pasting in the link now for Fix the World Morocco or something similar. I just put it in. They have beautiful products. First I tested out the sleeping pod to see that it even works. And it really works. I don't sleep much, but when I sleep I have calm sleep and I'm much more refreshed. So I bought some organite pyramids too. So I gridded the whole house with it, so it protects us from all the nasty energies that are not beneficial for our healths. I had a new X-ray girl on Wednesday. What? On Wednesday. She messed up so much that I had 30 doses of X-ray blast in my face. Oh my god. I had the sleeping pod near my shoulders. It's probably held, but I have been so sick from it. Oh my god, that's not very cool. You've been exposed to some unpleasant uranium. So Shamans is in hermit mode. I keep getting Aussie videos from him. What? I send back Nako. Okay. Okay, Sleeping Pod Fix the World Morocco. That's just got posted in by Higher Vibrations. And I'm repasting it too. Okay. And yeah, like they have very cool products. When I bought the 4 pyramids, I got a gift. This little organite medal. It's made out of the same substance as the pyramids, and I wore it on my chest, and it's really damn good. Like I feel much more lighter. It's like it it's probably you're having some mic problems over there. It basically, the main function of it that it puts everything back into the natural flow of things, so you're not bombarded by the negative energies constantly. Okay. So, Jocelyn, I added in addition to shielding and protection, we can fight back these psychic attacks. Combat with love and light. I hate these one-sided attacks. I want to fight back. Okay. Like I had that period too when I was pretty much a pain in the ass in the astral. But yeah, you just have to really block it out and ask for protection. But yeah, if you're a guardian, then you can kick some serious ass on the astral and chew bubblegum while you're doing it. Okay, okay, so yeah, like I pasted again a link with the book. Venusian, good for you. I don't want to fight. Yeah, like do your protection, ask for guidance and protection from Archangel Michael. And Mother Mary asks for her blue mantle of protection to cover you and to be guarded. Not everyone is a psychic warrior, but some of us do enjoy the craft, so I bet there are not many of us there. Okay, I've pasted the link with the book. You can find it on Amazon. It is free until Wednesday, The Teachings of Toph the Atlantean. In some part we have discussed the subject, but the people that have just joined in, you can get it for free until Wednesday, and even after that it's like 99 cents. It is the book that I channeled with Thoth. It contains a lot of information also about these subjects on how to overcome these dark aspects of our lives, because we're constantly like bombarded with negative stuff that are trying to influence us in a not very beneficial way, in a not very good direction. And it has like a lot of help on how to overcome it, a lot of also techniques, clues on how to maneuver and what you can do to overcome it. And it contains a lot of knowledge through which you can transform it, basically, because only by acknowledging it and seeing it that, okay, like crap is happening and I need to do something about it. And the book is really good about uncovering some stuff, how it works, but mostly giving you like tools and ways how you can counter it. And I think that's really something that we have to own in our own lives, to be empowered and to counteract the movement of dark stuff. So we can chant the song of freedom, the song of light. Okay, so Mandolin, we can absolutely fight back, Jocelyn. Your boundaries are valid. Yup. Yeah, and also the reptilians respect you if you do, or I know, but if only if you do it without fear. But yeah, like if you're not confident in it, then don't dabble in this stuff, because you can get burned with it if you don't know what you're doing. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us. Do your protection, like ask for Archangel Michael and Mother Mary's blue energy to guard and protect us, especially during the night time. We really need that since we're bombarded with a lot of crap and negative influences. And also watch out for psychic influencing, when unwanted and weird stuff that is very destructive and disturbing comes into your minds, and like take it out and do your protection and cleansing. Like don't succumb to these negative influences, because we have power over it. We can take it out of our lives, we can filter it out and transform it. Like we don't have to suffer through it anymore, because we have the power and we have the knowledge given to us how to overcome it, basically. So thank you everyone for joining me. Please do check out the book, and if you liked it, then please leave a comment for it, because it helps a lot. And hopefully, yeah, like if I have time this week, we can maybe have another chat, but I'm not promising anything because I have a very fluid and hectic schedule in this period of my life. Thank you for all joining us. Have a lovely day or evening or morning whenever you are, and see you soon.